Hello YouTube! Welcome back to my channel. My name's Tina and I make lifestyle, DIY, and a lot of wedding content right now on my channel. And this video was actually one that was requested from you guys after I asked in my previous video if I should do a Cricut video. So here we are with a Cricut video. So today I'm going to show you some of the quickest and easiest projects that you can do with vinyl on your Cricut machine. And I know since a lot of brides kind of buy a Cricut for the wedding, this is kind of the easiest way that you can use it. So I wanted to make it super beginner friendly. I'm first gonna go over some basics on how to use the Cricut machine with the Design Space program, and then I'm going to show a couple of project ideas using different materials, so I hope you guys find this super helpful. Each project is basically going to use the technique that I showed in the beginning, so I hope this breaks it down for you and makes it super clear. And with that being said, let's get into the projects. For these projects, you're going to need these basic materials. For vinyl, I'm using Cricut brand vinyl, and I got these at Michael's for half off. I'm also going to use Cricut's transfer tape, but you can find other alternatives on Amazon. And for my weeding tools, I have a set from Cricut, but these are two of my favorites. You'll also need a burnishing tool. This one is from Cricut, but you can always use a credit card or a gift card if you don't have one. And of course, you need some good old washi tape to help line things up. Now let's get started. Just wanted to show you how I'm designing each one of these decals, and for each one of the projects I'm using Cricut Design Space, which is a free program you can use with your Cricut machine. And since I'm only using text for all of these projects, it's easy to design within the software. However, if you're creating more complex designs, I would suggest using something like Canva and Photoshop. For this example, I'm creating a table number on a rectangle shape, so I'm mocking that up by creating a basic 3 by 4 inches rectangle, and this way I can see exactly how my number will look on the sign and how big it can be. When it comes to fonts, I have downloaded a bunch of beautiful cursive script and calligraphy styles, and I found these all for free from places like thefont.com, Creative Market, or even Pinterest, and I'll have a bunch of them linked down below in my description box. Now I'm typing in my text, which is just the word one, and as you can see, all the letters are separated, and that's not how we want it to look when it's cut out. To attach them together, you must first click onto ungroup, so the letters are each their own shape, and then what you want to do is to move them and make sure that they're all touching and that they are all connected. This way it'll look seamless and it'll look like one cohesive word, just like how cursive usually looks. Next, you can highlight over the whole word, and to connect them all together, click on weld. Now they are all within one shape and your Cricut will cut it out seamlessly and perfectly. This is a really important step, so please don't forget it, and remember to click on weld so that they're all together and that they won't cut out piece by piece, because when I was learning, this was a big mistake, so just listen and press the weld button. Now you can go ahead and resize your word, and then make sure that you hide the square and only have the word showing. Once it looks perfect, click on the Make button and plug your Cricut to your laptop or whatever device you're using. Just make sure that you always have the right setting on. And depending how thick the material is, usually vinyl or vinyl plus works for me when I'm working with vinyl. After flattening the vinyl to the top left corner of your mat, feed it into the Cricut machine and press the flashing Cricut logo. Then just watch the machine do its magic and cut out your beautiful new decal. To apply the decal, separate the paper backing from the vinyl and use weeding tools for smaller pieces that are harder to get out. Then with transfer paper, lay it over the vinyl and flatten it down to ensure that it's sticking properly, and then lift the tape away from the paper backing. Whenever you're lifting away transfer tape, make sure you're lifting it at an angle so it comes off really cleanly. Now you can stick this to any surface that you want. For this table number, I'm using a very basic sign that I got from Michael's, and with my burnishing tool, I'm rubbing it back and forth to make sure the vinyl will stick to the sign. Once it feels secure, lift the transfer tape away from the surface and do this very slowly, and voila, your decal is now ready and you are a pro at making vinyls. I love how clean and modern this looks, and with this technique you can really use it on any sign, large or small. So here I'm showing you a very small scale, but you can make large welcome signs with this same exact technique, and the best thing of all is that it is removable. So you can stick it to any sign and peel it off when you're done. You can go ahead and reuse the sign or even resell it to somebody else, which in turn saves you some money, which is exactly what I like to hear. Okay, now that you know how to make your own decals, here are a few ways that you can use them. For this next idea, it's using the same exact technique I just showed you, but I wanted to share that you are not limited to using only vinyl. Here I'm using a marble contact paper that I got off of Amazon, and I just wanted to add a little bit of interest and texture, so this was the perfect way to do it. And a little trick to make sure you get these perfectly straight every time is to use washi tape. It just makes life so much easier. And again, you just want to flatten it down, burnish it on, take off the tape, and there you have it, a super cute personalized gift that you can give to your bridesmaid. I just think that this looks so beautiful, and it is just something that your bridesmaids want to keep for years to come. Vinyl is not limited to flat surfaces, so for this project I'm using super cute wine tumblers that I got from Amazon. They came in a pack of 4, and I've showed these off before in a couple of other videos, but I just wanted to show that you can totally personalize things very cheaply with your Cricut. When you're putting vinyl on drinkware, you want to make sure that it's permanent and it stays on when you're washing it and putting it in the dishwasher. So please make sure that you're using permanent vinyl, and Cricut sells their own brand, which is what I'm using here. The trick to working with a round object is to cut little slits all around the transfer tape, and this just makes it so the tape is a lot easier to wrap around the object, and it also minimizes air bubbles that'll get trapped when you're laying it down. And again, I'm using washi tape here to make sure it's aligning perfectly straight. Trust me, you want to do this extra stuff because it is permanent vinyl and it's going to be really hard to get off, so make sure you're getting it straight the first time with washi tape. And if you're using a glass cup, you can also just fill it up with water and use that as a guide. Obviously, place it down and pour out the water before you start burnishing it on, but that was a little trick that I found out as well. And when you're working with permanent decals, you want to make sure that you burnish it really well. So go back and forth in every single direction and press it firmly as you rub all over it. Then peel off the tape slowly and enjoy your brand new tumbler. Okay, so for this last idea, it is a project that I haven't seen anyone else do before, and it was a little bit of an experiment when I made them, so I just wanted to share with you all because I think it just looks so good. And instead of using regular vinyl, I'm using heat transfer vinyl in a beautiful shiny gold. And when you're using heat transfer, you want to make sure that the good side is facing down when you fix it onto your mat. So using the same steps I showed before, create your design, and then you want to make sure that you turn on the mirror button before you start cutting. This makes it so your design will come out reflected and it will be the right side when you iron it on. And as you can see, the shiny side is reading properly and ready for ironing. And for this project, I found these super cute pink and gold velvet hangers at HomeGoods, and I just feel like they just look so cute and a little bit of a level up from the regular wooden hangers. And before you start, you want to make sure that your iron is at a medium heat, but please read directions on the brand of vinyl you're using to get the best results. Then I'm going to place my design exactly where I want it on the hanger and put a piece of parchment paper on top of it. Now carefully place your iron over your design and press firmly, going back and forth for less than 10 seconds. Now all you have to do is peel the plastic away and your brand new super fancy personalized hanger is ready to use. I gave these as gifts for my bridesmaid and I loved how they looked with their robes hanging on them, so I would highly recommend this beautiful and budget-friendly DIY. Alright, those were all the projects. I also wanted to mention quickly that I used that last technique with the heat transfer on my guest book, and I showed it off before, but here it is again. It is a little bit messed up, but I wanted to show that since this is made out of a cloth material, I was able to use the heat transfer on top, and it just looks so pretty as well. So you're not limited to only doing velvet hangers. You can use that same technique on something like this, and then obviously for the purpose of clothing and tote bags and stuff. So there really are endless possibilities that you can use with vinyl. I think my favorite project that I did was definitely this jewelry box, and I honestly might just take off this name and put my name on it since it is my jewelry box, but I just did a different name for the sake of this video, but definitely this has to be my favorite. Let me know down in the comments below which project was your favorite and which ones will you be trying out with your new Cricut machine. And if you don't have one, I wonder if this video will convince you to get one, because honestly it was just so much fun to use, and I still use it today just to work on my own little projects. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you learned something new, and I hope it inspired you to create something for your wedding. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to get right back to you. Follow my vlog channel linked down below, as well as my Instagram. I'm posting every single day on Instagram, so follow me and feel free to DM me. I really love getting everyone's messages on there. And that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!